Okay, hey YouTube. I was just coming to you guys because I just wanted to speak on something real quick. It saddens my heart to see individuals that went through things as children or went through any type of trauma as a child to grow up and still be going through that same trauma. It saddens me to know that these same adults or whatever went through things in their home. You know what I mean? They was taught different ways to handle conflict, and they was taught that they wasn't nothing, or they was abused and mistreated as children, and not nobody cared about them. They didn't have a mother or a father, but they grew up with these same insecurities. And not only did they grow up with these same insecurities, but now they're taking their insecurities and they're using it and hurting other people because of what they went through, as if it was somebody else's problem why they went through what they went through. They still holding on to, past abuse, past hurt, and it's buried so deep in them that they begin to, take it out on other people and be evil and mean to other people like they was done when they was younger. Not realizing that, whoever did these things to them, I'm sure right now they done went on with their life, living their life. Some are probably dead and gone in the grave, and they still, as an adult, you're still holding on to these things that, that affected you. And it's not fair that you take those things and you put it onto somebody else. It's just not fair. And I'm only speaking on this because I was once that child that, was abused and, didn't have a mom in the house. I had a father, but my father wasn't there half of the time. I was abused by my grandmother and by my brothers and, just all over the place, bullied in the neighborhood, everything. But as I grew older, I realized that I had no control over what was going on with me. And I'm sure back then they didn't know what they was doing. But as I got older, those same people that did these things to me have moved on with their life. They're doing greater things. Some of them doing great things, some of them not. You get what I'm saying? Some are dead and gone, and some just don't have their mind now. They just lost their mind. But I realized that it would be crazy for me to hold on to all that past hurt, hold on to all those things that hurted me, and take that with my new life and move on with it. I felt it useless to do. So I began to, find something that would help me to overcome all that I've been through. And that something was God. I found Jesus, and I've been following him ever since. And I realized that what happened to me, I didn't want it to happen to no one else, because it hurt it. For me to have to go through that, it hurt it real bad. And because I felt that pain, I didn't want nobody else to feel that pain. Not even my children, because, to be abused as a child and beaten with stitcher cords and getting things thrown at you, and, everybody allows to just come and abuse you and do whatever they want to do to you. I knew that when I got older, I always told myself that when I got older, I wouldn't do those same things to my children. You know what I mean? Because it didn't feel good. And when I was being bullied outside by different people, I said that I would never do that to nobody else. Those ones that I felt, those ones that's being bullied, I wanted to be a help to them. I wanted to be their friend, because I never wanted to be a bully, because it didn't feel good to be bullied outside. And I knew that I would never grow up and take what I went through and turn it into evil onto other people, because it's not fair. So it really sat in my heart that I watched these people out here in this world to just do evil. You know what I mean? If they make excuses of why they're doing evil, they might say things like, well, I didn't have a father when I grew up. Well, I didn't have a mother when I grew up. You know what I mean? Or this happened to me and that happened to me. And they make excuses and justify why they're doing their evil, not knowing that they can be healed, that you don't have to hold on to the stuff that you went through. You don't have to go on with life with that. You don't have to feel like nobody is there to help you do that. You don't have to. Why? Because we have Jesus. Like, if you could just go to God and call on to Jesus and ask him for the help, he will come help you. You don't have to go through that, and you don't have to treat everybody else mean. You don't have to do that. Like, so it hurts my heart that there's so many mean people out here, and being mean because of what they went through. And that's half of the time, because when you really ask somebody being that, they really don't really have no excuse. They blame everybody else. But they have to learn today that you got to take the blame for yourself. You got to see you. You get what I'm saying? Because when I was out there, and if I wanted to do evil, I always looked at me first. I never blamed nobody else of why this happened or why this happened. I always try to blame myself and look at me first. You feel what I'm saying? And seeing what I can do to better the situation, or, always try to be a problem solver. Because I never wanted to be the person to treat people mean like I was being treated. So I'm making this video because I want whoever can hear this, that I want you to know that, you know what I mean, you can be fixed. You don't have to be evil. You don't have to be turned over to a reprobated mind. And if you're in a reprobated mind right now, a reprobated means that when God kept trying to talk to you and you kept going the way that you wanted to go, you know what I mean, he made you believe. He turned you over to your own mind, to your own lust, to whatever you wanted to do. So while you think that you're doing good, the whole time that you're doing bad. So, but you don't have to stay in a reprobate. And, you know, while you're looking for man to bring you out, or you're looking for things to bring you out, man can't bring you out of a reprobate. The only person that can bring you out of a reprobate is yourself and God. And you can't even do it yourself because you need God to help you get out of it. But you don't have to go around being mean. You don't got to go around taking it out on people because it was done in your life. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. But you don't have to go around being mean to people because at the end of the day, there is help out there. There's help. But the only thing you could do first is admit that you need help. Admit that you need help. Admit that your past is still hurting you. Admit that the past is still horning you. Admit that the past is still affecting your everyday life. Admit that. But don't be mean to other people because at the end of the day, by you being mean, and you feeling like God is walking away from you and God don't love you and you feel like you just don't have God in your life and you feel like you can't get God, that's a lie from the devil. I don't care what you have done in your life, you are forgiven. You can be forgiven. But don't constantly go on with life taking everybody and dragging everybody, trying to drag people to hell because that's what you feel like you're going at. Because you don't have to go to hell. That's the choice that you're making for yourself. But you don't have to go to hell because the Bible, if you take your time out and pick up the Holy Bible and read it and allow the word to saturate in your heart and allow the word to, you know, prick you and allow the word to give you what you need, the wisdom and stuff, I'm sure there is help out there because I am a living testimony. I'm living truth. Like sometimes when I'm feeling so down and so out and I don't know, you know, which way to go or which way to turn. And sometimes I feel useless. Sometimes I feel like I want to get rid of my life and I want to kill myself. But I realize that there is a God and there is, all I got to do is reach out to him and he will show me, he will give me the help that I need to get me back to, you know, back on the path that he had me and that he set for me to be on. So I'm making this video to tell you that he will do the same thing for you. You don't have to be mean to people. You don't have to take out on nobody else because I'm sure that, like, if your mom wasn't there, I'm sure your mom is living her life and doing whatever she wanted to do now. You know what I mean? And you still holding on that she beat you as a child. I'm sure if your father walked away from you and just didn't want nothing to do with the family, I'm sure it wasn't about you or why he walked away. It wasn't your fault or why he walked away. But I'm sure that he's living his life now too. And here you still sitting on wondering why your parents walked away from you. And you're a whole adult, like a whole adult. You're over the age of 21. So I'm telling you, don't hold on to that past hurt. You at this day, you can start a brand new life. Your life can be brand new, renewed. Because he said, in God, he makes all things new. So all you got to do is reach out to him. He'll make all things new. It is nothing too hard for him. It's nothing too hard for our God. Everything through God is possible. So don't feel like, well, my whole life is messed up. You know what I mean? Like, the world is just against me and everybody is against me. Don't feel like that because for real, it's nobody against you. It's you against yourself. You are your biggest enemy. And I had to learn that once I got out of my way, I had to get out of my own way because the whole time I wanted to look at everybody and blame everybody for why I'm going through what I'm going through. But the whole time, it wasn't everybody. It was me. I was my biggest enemy. And when I got out of my own way, God began to speak and God began to lead and he led me into the right places where I need to be at. And right now I can say that I am content with my life. You know what I mean? Because now I have a support team. I'm not alone. The world is not against me. You know what I mean? I let go of my past because my past do not define me. Because God have a whole new life waiting for me. You know what I mean? And he have a whole new life waiting for you too. But you cannot go around hurting and being mean to people because of what you went through. Because it's not fair. It's not their fault. You know what I mean? It's not their fault. But you can have new life. You can have life. And if you're just an evil person overall and you just being evil just because, guess what? There's a life for you too. There's a place for you too. And not long will God keep allowing you to run around and destroy his people. He will not allow you to keep doing it. So I'm telling you now that if you want a better life and you want your life to be turned around, turn it around and hand it to God. And let God do it. And if you are in a reprobate mind, I pray right now for you that, you know what I mean, that you will realize that you're in that reprobate, that you will realize that you're that narcissist, that you will realize that you're that Jezebel, that you will realize that you are Satan yourself, that you will realize that and then turn your life around because you do. You know what I mean? Satan was the only man that God did not forgive. Okay, Satan is the only one in the whole entire world that God said that he did not forgive, that he did not allow to repent, that he is where he's going at, that he's going where he's going at. But us humans, us spiritual beings, you have an opportunity to get your life together. Hell do not have to be your destination. It do not have to be. So I'm not going to speak on nothing that I don't understand or nothing that I haven't been through. But I was that child that was abandoned. I was that child that didn't have nothing, that was abused and felt like the world was against me and felt like my family walked away from me. But guess what? I met Jesus and he turned my life around. And I'm not out here being mean to people just because, but I'm out here giving spitting knowledge to people and letting them know that you can have a better life, that life can get greater, that there is a God that cares so much about us. There is a Jesus that, died for our sins and is still pleading on our behalf to get it right. You know what I mean? Because eternal life was promised to us. So, you know what I mean? And hell was there too. You don't want to go to hell, because Satan is going there. So don't allow him or his little demons or his little tactics to pull you where he at. Don't do that. And if you are one under my that can hear me right now that is being abused by this hurt person, don't let that hurt person hurt you to bring you to a point that you start hurting people. You know what I mean? Turn your life around. Get away from them people. You know what I mean? If anybody is hurting you right now, or being against you, or just doing mean stuff to you, get away from that person. I'm telling you, because the Bible told us to come from amongst them. Come from under them. You don't have to be. You don't have to be there. And if you're in a space where you ain't getting no peace, then you ain't got to be there either. Get out of that place, because the Bible speaks about that as well. He said that if you go into a place and you let off your peace, and peace is not coming back to you, and it's not being reciprocated back to you, then you're allowed to pick up that peace and go to the next house and stay at that house and only eat from that house. That's what the word tells us. So I'm telling you that you don't have to be mean. You don't have to feel like that you don't have nobody. You don't have to feel like that, because everybody have somebody, and we all have Jesus, and we all have God if we just reach out to him. You get what I'm saying? Because he's a God for everybody. He's not just my God, but he's a God for everybody that wants him. He's a Jesus, not just my Jesus, but he's a Jesus for everybody that want to receive him. You know what I mean? And while he's knocking, just open the door and let him in, and he can, I'm telling you, turn it all around for you. So you don't got to be mean. You know what I mean? Or you don't have to feel like you're dying in your sorrows, and you don't want to have to feel like you want to commit suicide. You don't have to feel like that, because there is help. And I'm a living witness, like, because I was once there. I'm telling you, I'm not going to speak on nothing that I don't understand, but I was there too, where I wanted to, do all those things, and I felt like there was nobody. But the moment that I opened up my mouth and I screamed Jesus, he came. He really did. He came and he turned my life around, and he's still doing it, and he's changing me every day, and he's showing me ways to, help myself that I may not go in a way that I shouldn't go. So I'm learning now to delete those people, delete things. Don't give so much of my power to things that don't deserve it. Like, if it's not reciprocating back to me peace, or reciprocating back to me joy and happiness, then guess what? I don't need it in my life. So it's okay to block it and delete it and move on, because with everything that you delete that's negative, God gonna replace with a positive. Okay? So don't feel like you're losing friends, because you're not, because God is gonna replace that. So I just wanted to come give y'all that word, and if I have something else to give, I'll give that. But I just wanted to speak on that one area, because I was in class today and I listened to somebody say something about their lifestyle and what their mother told them as they grew up, and it was like really mean. And I was like, so that I figured that's why so many people out here are so angry and mad, because they still holding on to those things that their parents taught them. And I'm like, baby, we not in that generation no more. You know what I mean? You gotta get it for yourself now. You have to get it for yourself. You can't keep waiting for somebody to bring it to you. You gotta get it for yourself. And the only way to get it is to open this and read it. And sometimes I have a lot of word buried in my heart, because that's, at one point, that's all I had was the Bible to read. And that's why I got a lot of word buried in me. But I'm trying to rebuild my life back to get more word buried in me, that I may give it to you guys and be able to give you the scriptures on what I'm talking about, because God will fix it. So you don't have to be a reprobate. You don't have to be a narcissist. You don't have to be a Jezebel. You don't have to be none of these evil people that's in this Bible. You don't have to be one of the devil's workers. You don't gotta be none of that stuff, because we got a God. So if you're hurting right now, I ask that you just go into a place and just begin to call on Jesus, and really mean it in your heart. Saturate your heart to Jesus and really, really, really mean it. Or whoever you call on. You know what I mean? if you want to call him the higher power, or if you want to say a higher being, however you may do it. But I'm saying Jesus because that's who I believe in. I'm saying God because that's who I believe in. So if you call on Jesus and go into a place and just call on him, he'll come rescue you. But you don't have to be mean. You don't have to be sad. You don't have to feel lonely. You don't have to feel none of that stuff, because God cares and he loves us. And that's all I wanted to tell y'all. So I ask that y'all be blessed. God bless you. And I'll talk to you guys later.